Hi, welcome. Today we are going to review all the triple rares that I find interesting from Absolute Judgment. We're only going to review the triple rares because none of the generation rares were any good in my opinion. And yeah, so it's only going to be the triple rares that I care about. Of course, like always, I don't review cards I don't play or I don't find interesting. So only the cards that I personally kind of found interesting that just triggers my fancy, you know. So, but before I start with that, I'm going to talk about this card. I mean, the artwork on this card is amazing. I'm not gonna talk about the card in general. I'm just gonna say the artwork on this card is just mind-blowing. I love the artwork on this card. I just love this card. I have to get a couple of copies of this card later, but you know, just for the artwork. I wish that was actually a card I would play, but you know, I might play that deck later sometime. So let's go over the first triple rare, which is Prehistoric Regalia Urthr. She has amazing artwork as well. I love the art on this card. She's a G unit grade 4 triple drive, 50,000 plus, 1 critical, Genesis, and her flavor text has not been translated. So let's go over her effect. Her effect is Contrablast 1, choose a face-down card named Prehistoric Regalia Urthr from your G zone and turn it face up. When this unit is placed on VC, if you have a hard card with Regalia in its card name, you may pay the cost. So basically you pay this cost if you have a hard card with Regalia in its card name, which is, well, you should probably play this in a Regalia deck. So that shouldn't be too impossible. If you do, put all cards with Regalia in its card name from your drop zone into your soul. And if the number of face-up cards with Regalia in its card name in your G zone is 2 or more, until the end of this turn, this unit gets Act VC, Soul Blast 6. This unit gets power plus 10,000 and critical plus 1 until the end of turn. I love this card. I'm just gonna say this. This card, literally, I fell in love with it when I read its effect. Just because this card exists. Just because that this card's existence. Sacred Flame Ultimate Regalia Nectar. If this card didn't exist, I wouldn't have liked her as much, but because this card exists, I really like this card. First of all, she helps with the first effect. Because if the effect says, and if the number of face-up cards with Regalia in its card name in your G zone is 2 or more. So if you stride her, and then you stride this and you flip, you're gonna have 2 face-up cards. So you're going to have it on your first stride. So this is a really good second stride, and of course, Nectar is a really good first stride. You stride at first, then you can stride this twice, and then you can get off this effect twice. So basically, what I also like about her is that when you use her effect, you can put all cards with Regalia in its card name from your drop zone into your soul. That's just awesome. If you have 6 Regalias in your drop zone, you don't really... You have to Soul Blast 6, but then you just Soul Blast the Regalias you put into your soul. That's just amazing. I mean, you pretty much get off the effect for free, because you have 6 Regalias in your drop zone, you get them back into her soul, you Soul Blast them, and next time you stride her again, you get to use this effect again. I mean, this card is amazing. Mostly because this card's existence, if this card did not exist, this card would not be as good. But because this card's existence, this card is mind-blowing. Like, this card is literally 100% the best card I've ever seen from this set. I'm gonna pick up 4 copies of her. I want to build a Regalia deck because this is just phenomenal. I love this card a lot. I mean, I must just sit there and just be like, oh, I love this card, but I really do. I like her effect because it's so easy. It's not even hard to get this effect. I mean, it's just Contrablast 1 and you have to put another copy of her face up. I mean, nothing of this card is really expensive. It pays for itself, and because you have this card, you get to use this effect twice. That's just, I have nothing to say about this card. 10 out of 10, love this card. Can't wait until it's released. The next card we're going to talk about is Carnivorous Megatrick Piranha. She is amazing as well, like her artwork is really good. She's a Yi unit, grade 4, triple drive, 50,000 plus, 1 critical Dark Zone Pale Moon. And her flavor text is, please enjoy it until the very last moment. So, yeah. Her effect is a Magia, so, yeah. Act VC 1 turn, Counterblast 1. Choose a face down card from your Yi zone and turn it face up. And choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. Choose up to the same number of cards with the Magia ability from your soul as the number of face up cards in your Yi zone. And call them separate RC. I really like the first part of her ability, just because once again, it's not terribly expensive. You can flip another copy of another card face up, which I like, that you can flip something else. You don't have to flip her face up, but you can flip other stuff face up as well. And of course, you have to put one card from your hand into her soul, which is not bad if you have a Magia card in your hand that you want to call to an open rearguard. Or open rearguard circle. Yeah, I mean, why not? And I really like the same effect of her Magia ability. If you have choose up to the same number of cards with the Magia ability from your soul as the number of face-up cards in your Yi zone. So, more cards face up in your Yi zone, the more cards you can call from her soul to different RC. I really like that. Like, nothing of the first effect is bad. And just this is what I like about it. Choose up to the same number of cards with the Magia ability from your soul as the number of face-up cards in your Yi zone and call them separate RCs. If you have like 2 cards face up and then you summon this card, you're going to have 3 cards face up and you can call 3 cards to separate RCs. And they go, and at the end of the turn, if the number of face-up cards with named Carnivorous Megatrick Piranha in your Yi zone is 1 or less, put the units you called with this effect into your soul. So if you have 1 or less Carnivorous Megatrick Piranha in your Yi zone, 1 or less, you put all the units called with this effect back into your soul. If the number is 2 or more, choose any number of units called with this effect and put them back into your soul. So basically, here's where you get to decide during your first stride. You stride her, here's where you get to decide, kinda, because you can stride her and flip another copy of her face up, and you get to go to the second effect faster, because the first part of the effect, at the end of the turn, if the number of face-up cards with Carnivorous Megatrick Piranha in your Yi zone is 1 or less, put the units called with this effect back into your soul. You have to put everybody back. The second one, you get to choose which ones you want to put back. Because if the number is 2 or more, choose any number of units called with this effect and put them back into your soul. I love that. I love that you kinda have, it's just kinda like one of those cards that you have to think how to play her, because you know, you can either flip another copy of her face up to get to the second part of the last effect, or you can do pretty much just flip something else and just keep her at 1 as long as possible. If you want 2 or more of her face up, it's better that you flip another of her face up. But if you just want to keep 1 or less face up, you want to use the first. It depends on which one of the effects you want to use, really. Do you want to put back all of them, or just the ones you want to choose? Like, if you want specific ones back and you want specific ones to just not go back into the soul, it depends on what you want to choose. Like if you want, I like it because of her effect, and she is not that bad either. I mean, her effect is pretty solid. I mean, overall, I think that her ability to call cards from the soul to the number of face-up cards in your Yi zone is amazing, and I do think that by itself is really good, because, like I said, you can control how many cards you can strike her later in the game. You get to call more cards from her soul to open rearguard circles at that point. The longer you wait, the more you get to call, which I love, by the way. And then, of course, her second part of her ability, if you're 1 of less face up, everybody goes back, and if you have 2 or more, you get to choose which one to go back. I love this card. I just love the potential this card has in playability. Like, this card has so much potential, and I really enjoy potential more than anything else, because, you know, me and potential, I am all for it. So this card has so much potential. I just loved it. I just love it. And this card as well, a lot of potential. So this far, 2 amazing triple rares. The last one is Flower Princess of Belmibreeze Ilmatar. She's a grade 4 triple drive, 50,000 plus, 1 critical, new Nectar. Amazing artwork as always. Like, these 3 cards has amazing artwork. Not as good as this card though, but this card is just amazing. But amazing artwork. Her flavor text is: the tidings of hope are the tidings of hope are accepting by a fragrance dancing in the wind. I kind of like that. It's kind of awesome. The tidings of hope are accompanied by fragrance of dancing. The tidings of hope are accompanied by fragrance dancing on the wind. I like it. I like it. It's kind of poetic in a way. So I like flavor texts. I might not have said that the right way, but you know, I love flavor text. So whatever. This card is. This card's effect is 1 act VC 1 turn generation break 2. So probably not something you want to stride the first time, but you know, generation break 2, probably a good second stride. Counterblast 1 and choose a face down card named Flower Princess of Belmibreeze Ilmatar from your G-Zone and turn it face up. Choose one of your units, and if that unit has the Bloom ability, draw a card. Choose up to 6 of your units with the same card name as that unit chosen with this effect, and until the end of turn they get. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, draw a card, and if you have 3 or more with the Bloom ability, this unit gets +1 critical. So once again, the thing I love about this card is, you just counterblast 1, and then you flip another copy over face up, so still cheap, not expensive at all. Then you choose one of your units, and if it has the Bloom ability, which you probably have because you're going to run this in a Bloom ability deck, you draw a card. And then you choose up to you can choose up to 6 of your units with the same card name as the unit chosen. So if you have the copy ability and your monsters copy the name and all that, you know how it works. They copy the name and stuff like that. It makes it a lot easier because you choose one and then you let the other ones copy that card's name. Yeah, it becomes even better. You choose up to 6 of your units with the same card name as the unit chosen with this effect. Yeah, and until the end of that turn, they get, when this unit attack hits the Vanguard, draw a card. Which I like, because that puts some pressure on your opponent. Does he want to block the attack? And if it doesn't block the attack, you get to draw a card. So I love that you can kind of pressure your opponent to block rear guards. And of course, depending on if you want this card, I mean, you could probably, you know, I don't know. It's just amazing that you can pressure your opponent. And of course, the last effect. And if you have 3 or more units with Bloom ability, this gets +1 critical. Once again, like, that's not hard. Like, you are probably going to get 3 monsters with the Bloom ability on the field pretty easy. So this has critical +2 super easy. I don't see any really downside to this card as well. I mean, just that this is a lot of draw power and it gets +1 critical. I mean, it all depends on how you want to play this card. I mean, I would probably play this card as a, you have stride it during your second stride or something like that, because it's a generation break 2. So it's not going to be live during your first stride. But that doesn't matter, because I think the effect of this card just makes up for that. Just with the whole, you can draw a lot of cards and you get +1 critical. This card has no downside, literally. I love these cards that we have seen in this video. Like, I don't know what to say, really. I mean, all of these 3 are amazing cards. Like, not as amazing as this in artwork, but, you know, this card has amazing artwork. You can kind of see it here. Her name is Stelphine Avakuvihime. So, amazing name, really cool artwork. The artwork-wise, they still are good, but I think their abilities are what sets them apart. Just, this card has a really broken ability. I think this card has a really good ability. Thanks to the existence of this card. If this card didn't exist, I think she would be a little bit worse. But because you can stride this first, and then you can start striding her, she just becomes way, way better. Just the whole thing with getting 10k and 1 critical until the end of turn for Soul Blasting 6, which is not really an expensive cost, because you get to put all the Regalia cards from your drop zone into her soul. if you have a Regalia, if you have a hard card with Regalia in its card name, and you only counterblast one and put another copy over face up, it's mind-blowing. This card, it's all about, this card, it's all about tactics, you know. It depends on what you want to do. Do you want to put back all the cards, or you just want to put back some of them? Depending on what you want to do, you can flip another copy over face up or something. You can do so much with her. I mean, another copy over face up, or you can just flip another copy of another card because it doesn't specify what you want to flip up. Once again, it's only one flip up and a counterblast, so it's not expensive at all. And for each card in face up in your G zone, you can special summon more cards to rearguard circle. Which, I mean, this card has a lot of potential as well. Like, this card is literally all the potential of just calling out a lot of monsters, and then you get to choose which one to go back, or you can send all of them back depending on what you want to do. Of course, when you stride her twice, that decision making goes out, but during your second and first stride with her, you can kind of you get to choose which ones, you get to send all of them back, or you get to choose depending on how you play her. She has a lot of playability that I like. And the last one, she's basically draw power, and she gets a critical. And she gives other units draw power as well. So she's draw power, she gives all other cards, if you have copied a lot of cards, and you get them to draw power, so you get to draw even more, which I just love. I think this card is definitely going to see some play. But the thing to play this card is the critical. I mean, you get one critical super easy with her. I mean, just have 3 cards with the Bloom ability and you get a critical. That's literally everything. So tell me what you think about these cards. I mean, this card has amazing artwork, 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 and they also have pretty good abilities, which I like. So this card has also a pretty good ability. I could go over it, but I don't. Okay, I can go over it. Shadow Stitch, Generation Break 1. Choose a rear guard that boosted this unit. So you choose a rear guard that boosts this unit and put it on the bottom of your deck. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked a vanguard, if the attack did not hit, you may pay the cost, and if you do, choose one of your vanguards until the end of turn it gets. During the battle that this unit attacks, your opponent cannot call Grade 0 cards from hand to GC. So pretty much, if her attack, at the end of the battle that this unit attacked the vanguard, and if it didn't hit, you can pay this cost by choosing a rear guard that boosted this unit, put it to the bottom of your deck, and then you can't, your opponent can't call Grade 0s to guard for your vanguard attack. So when your vanguard attacks, they can't call Grade 0s to defend it. So I do like that as well. I do like her ability to kind of like, oh, you can't call Grade 0s anymore, you can't call Grade 0s, but I like her artwork more. So yeah, you got a shorter review of that card as well. So I do like all these 4 cards. I just do love these cards. Please tell me what you think though, and as always, down in the comment section, just tell me what you think about these cards, and as always, comment, like, and subscribe.